Hello and welcome to this month's episode of Bears, Tea and Tarot with me, your host, Graham Joseph Norton, and my wonderful co-host, Richard G. Jones. And of course, it's St. Patrick's Day, so Lo Éile Pádraig a Shona Yív.
That's
And
wonderful.
you're very welcome. Yes.
Tell us what you said
Gala Tina
there.
Féile.
Happy St. Patrick's. What was that you said? Tell us the translation, just so we know.
Lo Éile Pádraig Shona Yív. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you all. So
Oh.
that's the plural for everybody. So if we were saying it to one person, it's Lo Éile Pádraig Shona Ditch.
Wonderful. Well, how wonderful that you're in Dublin right now. We're recording our third episode of the podcast, and it's St. Patrick's Day. And I think, I mean, this should be out by the end of the day, so it should come out on St. Patrick's Day as well. So we're very lucky that we're recording and it will be on air later today as well. So
later today as well. Yes. And I just recorded another one this morning called Perfectly Imperfect Spirituality.
Oh, fantastic.
So, yes, with this very interesting lady who actually came to me we did an Instagram live together last Friday. Her name is Marta the Medium. She's Polish. She lives in Scotland, but she was trained in America with Pat Longo, who I do some stuff with, who trained Teresa Caputo. So it's all a very little sort of incestuous spiritual community. She had me on it, and I was talking about this. I mentioned us. I gave us a plug, and they're on 35 episodes, so they're like well ahead of us. And I talked about my new book on the divine feminine and spirituality for LGBT people, etc. For SBNRs, spiritual but not religious people. So it's very interesting what's going on. And then it was just general, and we talked about just anxiety, which we're going to be talking about today as well. And I gave them some tips. So it's been an interesting couple of weeks. So very hectic for both of us.
Indeed. Yes. Well, tell us the name of the podcast again. Just get the name out there so we can go and find it.
Perfectly Imperfect Spiritual Podcast. The Perfectly Imperfect Spiritual Podcast. And the lady is called Marta the Medium. So Marta the Medium.
Great. Well,
you can still see our Instagram live. It'll be on my page, and then it'll be on hers, because it was recorded and put up on the system. And actually it was lovely because I did a Cleadon reading for everybody and at the start, and then we were just channeling for people who were writing in for us, and we got lots of lovely feedback. So, and to prove that we were both mediums and we didn't have any clue what was going on, if I recognized somebody, I wouldn't read for them and she would.
Nice.
And then vice versa. So to prove that, it was all working. And I got lovely feedback from people going, oh my God, you connected to my granddad. Or, oh my God, you were so right in my situation and that perfect, and blah, 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 blah. So it was very nice. It was lovely.
That's great.
And as I said, we don't know each other. It was so, we'd had a conversation like on the phone the week beforehand. So it was all very, let's just go and see what happens.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes. So that's great. Oh, well done. I mean, now I know I can go and see the Instagram live. That's wonderful. I didn't know they lasted that long. We talk about.
I think it's 30 days or something.
Oh, great! Good. Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, that's good. I can, because I didn't see it, and I'm now beating myself up about it. But now I can go and make sure I see it now. So that's good.
By the way, I'm loving this slightly green glow off your skin today, or from the light. It's very St. Patrick's Day.
Well, I know by accident. I mean, I have I do not live in this lovely paneled office. This is just for clarity, it's a fake background, but I have to put it against a green screen. So I was going to wear a green shirt, then I disappeared in when I was testing earlier. So I was like, I have to put to have the background, which I all got set up. But I guess the green glow is giving me a St. Patrick's. I don't know how to
exactly. It's all very fitting.
I love somebody technical will write in and go, yeah, what you did wrong was this, or what you should be doing right is this. So, and I welcome that. I do. If there's a way to change this, tell me. But it's all about the getting together and the reading and the tea drinking anyway.
Exactly. And speaking on that front, we have some good news for our listeners. We are going to be going to twice a month starting in April.
We are. We've had such a good run. Having great feedback, and I think the time is right. The weather's changing. I think we're able to fit it into our schedules, and we want to do it. So that's so well done.
Exactly. Well done us. So today we're going to be talking about anxiety, because let's just face it, the world is a bit of an anxious place at the moment, between one thing and another, or as Freud would say, one thing and your mother. So it is a little bit scary at the moment. And so I'm going to guide you through a meditation that I use with my young people in the clinic. Actually, we've had, like, even there was some awful stuff happening there. One of my colleagues died very suddenly mid-morning in work, so we did a lot of trauma to go around with that. So I'd been very busy over the last few weeks. God rest her. But anyway, so I've been doing anxiety workshops with the young people, mindfulness for anxiety. So it's a 6-week program, so I'm going to guide us through the meditation, the first meditation from that.
Great.
I'm just going to do that, and then we're going to do answer a viewer's question or listeners' questions. I keep saying viewers. I'm not really sure. Are we viewers or listeners? Or are we both?
It could be both, because we're on YouTube and we're on podcast, so you can see us sometimes, and sometimes you can just hear us. So
exactly,
wherever you are.
Exactly. So I'm doing that, and then we're having. So I'm going to answer her, and then I'm going to do a general reading for everybody, a Cleedon.
Lovely.
And but today we're mixing it up a little bit.
Oh.
So I'm going to use the normal tarot to answer the question of our wonderful person who wrote in. It's a very long question. It's a sad story, but it is hopefully a happy ending. And then for our Cleedon, I thought, because it is St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to put out the traditional tarot that I usually at the Morgan Greer, but also I'm going to use this deck, and it is called the Irish Mythology Tarot, and it's art by a lady called Amy Louise O'Callaghan. So now the thing about these, she's from Cork. The thing about these tarot is they're only the major arcana. So, but they're all built around different Irish myths. So I'll have to use the little book to check what the myth is, just in case I don't recognize it off, because they're very colorful and bright. I recognize most of them. I don't use them very often. I just thought they'd be a little treat for the day. That's it.
I think that's wonderful.
So we will put them. We'll put them on top of the cards just to give us an extra layer of meaning when we're doing them. So yeah, and so so it's been a very interesting time lately. Very busy, and for both of us. And I guested on several other podcasts, and things are happening. So for both of us, and you're taking over the TV world. So
hopefully, fingers crossed. Lots of journeys ahead in that space for us. So yeah, very, very exciting year ahead. As crazy as it all is, there's some lovely stuff happening. Which is great.
My spiritual group is growing massively. We're now into our 4th month, and we've got loads of people, loads of men coming, which is really like straight men, not just gay men, straight men. I'm very excited about that. And like, they're really into it and everything else. And it's we're building this huge community. We're doing a really fascinating talk. Or I'm giving a fascinating talk because I give them. I think it's fascinating, but that doesn't really count. No. This course, this month is because I'm going on. Oh yeah, you don't know this. I can tell you. So I'm going to be a little bit older in May, and so I'm going to Glastonbury for the first time. But I'm not going for the festival. I'm going for
spiritual bits.
Yes, I'm going to visit the well of the divine feminine and the well of the divine masculine. Apparently, you can go skinny dipping, so we'll see if that happens. But we're going with some of my people are coming with me, and we're going to have a whole healing weekend and do all the mystical things, and it's going to be great crack, and it will be lovely. So that's what I'm doing for my birthday at the start of May. But to gear that up, I'm giving a talk on slaying the dragon within. Yes, so I'm using Merlin and Morgana as representations of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, but also New Age spirituality and traditional Christianity. And so it's quite interesting. And then, as I do with all of these workshops, I do hands-on healing, but I also do guided meditations and to help people through their problems, like shamanic journeys and stuff. So we're doing 2 past life regressions. One of them, you go into the past and you figure out what's been blocking you, and you take a gift back from that, and then you go back into the past and you figure out a skill that you've forgotten that you have, and you mix the 2 together into the next part. So it's all very cool. And then for the final part of the day, I am doing a workshop on manifestation and teaching people the spirituality and psychology of manifestation. So I might actually include that in one of our programs one day as a bonus. I think that'd be kind of nice.
You did that last time. You were very good at talking to us about manifestation and what you should do with it. It isn't just like a I mean, I love this quote. It's a quote from AbFab, but it's not just a spiritual ATM where you just ask for it and get it. You've got to. There's a journey
to back.
And I love that. I think it really helps that you what you told us in episode 2. So here's a plug for our episode 2. If you want to learn about manifestation, go back to the episode. But yeah.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean you can't tell us again. I have to say, we want to know what happens on your trip to Glastonbury. That's going to be fun.
Exactly. Well, that won't be till May, so that will be happening. We'll be seeing each other twice before then, anyway. But yes. And I'm very excited about that. So yes, and of course you'll have all your wonderful news as well.
Well, hopefully, I mean, it's just so nobody's wondering what's going on. On my Muggle side of life, I'm going to LA to work on some projects that might lead to some TV. It's all very early days, all very pitchy, as they say in Los Angeles, but there's some very interesting stuff, and I'll confirm a bit more when we know more. But it's just an interesting journey that I love what I do, but I've always wanted to be a producer, and I've produced some theater stuff back in what feels like 100 years ago, and television's easier to access these days with all the ways that you can do like producing this podcast. It's easy to create content now. So there's some of that happened, and now we're talking to some interesting people in LA about some bigger projects. So there's lots going on. So I'm very excited about that.
All I'll just say is I've lit so many candles for him that I'm not allowed into the church anymore. I'm a fire hazard, saying all those novenas and rosaries and prayers.
I tell you, it's so funny. This is a very
voodoo.
It's love. I love that about the light and the candles. But if you've ever been to somewhere, well, I don't know whether it's anywhere else, but I've been to a church in Venice, and because the whole of the city of Venice is built on wood, they don't have real candles in some of the churches. They're the little electronic ones, and I felt very kind of like, I want a real candle, but I get it too. But yeah. So if you're going to be lighting hundreds, get the little plastic flame ones that last forever.
Well, when I'm with the cult, I actually do. I give them, because we do a flame ritual at the start to bring in what we're trying to manifest. And every month I spent a fortune on buying electronic candles to give out to people, so they can take one away when they've done all their energy work with it. It's great. It's efficient.
It's an electric flame. It's a similar thing.
Exactly. It's a light, isn't it?
Love it. It is.
Exactly.
So,
shall we get on with our guided meditation?
Let's do it, my lovely. Let's do it. I'm going to hand the screen over to you, and I'll leave you to it.
So what I'm going to ask everybody to do is
I'm going
to ask you to sit back and make yourself very comfortable. And I'm now going to invite you to close your eyes. And I want you to become aware of your breath. And I want you to breathe into your nose for a count of 4. I want you to hold your breath for a count of 4. And I want you to slowly release it for a count of 4. So we're breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and holding, 2, 3, 4, and releasing, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and holding, 2, 3, 4, and releasing, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and holding, 2, 3, 4, and releasing, 2, 3, 4, and once more, inhale deeply, filling your lungs, feeling your belly rise, and exhale, releasing any tension, any tightness that you've been holding on to. And once more, take that deepest breath you've taken all day, hold it, and now exhale with a sigh, letting go of anything weighing you down. Allow your body to relax, sinking more and more into the surface that you're resting on. And now I want you to bring your awareness to the top of your head. I want you here to imagine a soft, warm light gently touching your scalp, melting away any tension. I want you to feel it moving down, relaxing your forehead, smoothing out any lines of worry. Let it travel down, softening your eyes, and clenching your jaw, your shoulders, allowing them to drop, no longer carrying the weight of the world with you. The light moves down your arms, into your hands, releasing any tension that you've been holding on to. It moves down through your chest, your stomach, softening, unwinding any knots of anxiety are dissolving with each breath as the light travels through you. Feel its warmth flow down into your legs, down to your feet, grounding you and anchoring you in this present moment. And I want you to know that you are safe, you are held, and you are present. And now I want you to imagine yourself standing in a vast open field at dusk. The sky above you is painted in soft hues of pink and gold. The air is cool and fresh, filled with the scent of earth and wildflowers. In the distance, you see a shadowy figure. This is your anxiety. It has followed you for a long time, whispering fears, planting doubts, and stealing your peace. But today, you see it for what it is. Anxiety is a thief. It has stolen too many moments, too much joy, and today you are going to take back your power. I want you to take a deep breath in, hold it, and as you exhale, watch this shadow begin to shrink. Taking another deep breath in, and see it fading further and further as you breathe in and out, banishing your anxiety. For you are stronger than your anxiety. It does not own you. It does not define you. With every breath, it loses its grip. With every breath, you become lighter and freer. Now, imagine yourself walking forward beyond the shadow of anxiety into a life where you are free. See yourself waking up in the morning, feeling calm and centered. You stretch, you breathe deeply, and you start your day with peace in your heart. See yourself moving through your day with confidence. When challenges arise, you handle them with ease, knowing you have the tools to stay grounded. Picture yourself laughing freely, connecting deeply with those you love, fully present in each moment. You are not living in fear of the future. You are not trapped in the past. You are here, now, fully alive. Take another deep breath in, filling your body with this new reality, filling it with peace, hope, and happiness. And now exhale, locking it in, grounding it in your root chakra. And again in, taking all of that wonderful positive energy, this wonderful new reality free of anxiety deep into you. And holding it, and then releasing. And now imagine yourself standing beside a gentle stream. The water is clear, flowing smoothly over smooth stones. See yourself holding a small, light basket filled with all of your worries, every fear, every anxious thought, every burden that you've been carrying. One by one, place them into the stream. Watch as the water picks them up, carries them away, further and further, until they disappear beyond the horizon. Feel the weight lifting from your shoulders. Feel the space inside you opening up for peace, for joy, and for presence. Take another deep breath in. Hold it. And as you exhale, whisper softly to yourself, I am free, I am safe, I am here. I am free, I am safe, I am here. I am free, I am safe, I am here. And slowly bring your awareness back to your body now. Feel the ground beneath you, the gentle rise and fall of your breath. The world is still here, but something inside you has shifted. You are lighter, stronger, free. Anxiety no longer controls you. It is simply a passing shadow. And you are alive, present, and exactly where you need to be. Remember, you are not your anxiety. You are stronger than your fears. You choose peace, you choose presence, and you choose to live fully here and now. And taking one last deep breath in, hold it, stepping fully into your new reality, you are free. Gradually bring your attention back to the room, wiggling your fingers and toes, becoming present and aware of your surroundings.
Wonderful.
One of these days you're going to nod off.
I have to be so careful. I'm so careful. I love listening. I try not to go too deep, but no, that's great. And I love you talking about anxiety as a thief, because it really, that if you can decide not to have that thief take things from you, I think is a very clever visualization.
Yeah, I use it with the kids all the time in work. I say to them, look, because some of them, like, they have problems coming in the morning because they get so anxious they can't get on the bus and different things, or out of bed or whatever. And I keep saying, but it's stealing your future. Do you want that to keep happening? So as I say to them, anxiety is a thief. Are you going to let it keep taking your life from you? And it works a lot of the time. What I will say, though, is, like, when you think about what is anxiety, I mean, anxiety is fear of a situation that you can't control. So it goes back to us all being a little bit OCD. So if we all...
Totally.
Yeah. And if we all kind of stop trying to control things and just be more present, then you'll find that it won't bother you.
Yeah.
I recently read that book everybody's raving about, Let Them. And it's actually very, very good. The Mel Robbins one. Okay. It's very, very good. In fact, I've even recommended it to one or two of the parents of some of the children that I work with, because there's a really good chapter on how to deal with young people who are getting on your nerves when you're trying to care for them. So it's actually, it was very useful. But yeah, and like she talks about anxiety, and the thing is, like, we can't control it. So why let it control us?
Yeah.
That's the only power you have in this situation, is, as I tell everybody, I've told everybody for years, is you cannot control how other people react, but you can control how we react to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where the gift is,
That, if you can harness that, that's the power, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a skill, and you have to practice it, but it doesn't happen overnight, And as I was saying, like, when I teach mindfulness to people, I said, like, particularly giving them exercises like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or the box breathing exercises, like, you don't practice this when you're in the middle of an anxiety moment, because it won't work. You need to practice it when you're actually calm, so it becomes a tool then for you to constantly draw upon. But the more you practice that centering and stillness, the more things will flow around you, So yes,
wonderful. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Not at all.
Who do we have? You said you do have a question that we're going to answer today.
I do, but before we do that, do you want to talk about your tea?
Oh, let's do it. Yes, I am drinking tea from my lovely mug. This is a mug for the Trevor Project. Actually, I remember buying this towards the Trevor Project here in the US, which is always doing good things for the queer youth. But the tea today is from a shop in a place called Cincinnati called Churchill's. So they were obviously leaning into their Britishness, I think, in that tea shop. But it's called Margaret's Hope, and my mum's was called Margaret. Well, I think of her as still being called Margaret. I don't think her as her in the past. But Margaret's Hope. So I thought I'd make that today, because you need hope, as you said. So Churchill's Tea in Cincinnati, and they do also. I mean, the flavors they do.
What kind of flavor is that? What flavor is that then?
This is black Darjeeling. So I think that's the typical main tea in kind of ordinary, like
normal tea,
everyday tea. So yeah, exactly. But it's a little bit fancier. But it's actually really good. I just made a little tiny pot of it for myself. But this place does all kinds of flavors. I also bought something called White Christmas, because I love the movie and I was feeling inspired and all that. So there's a White Christmas. Obviously, I can't. It's very Christmassy flavor, so I'm going to wait till Christmas to use it. But they do. If you're in the mood, if you're in Cincinnati, this tea shop will give you pretty much a flavor for anything, and all kinds of different versions of tea and all that. So if you're in that part of the world, do stop by and get yourself some tea.
Lovely. That is not a paid for advertisement.
No,
it just he happens to like that tea.
Absolutely. No, we don't have advertisers, and I don't know whether we will, but we don't have advertisers at the minute. It just is a lovely tea.
Yes, and I'm just, in case anybody's wondering, drinking Barry's. Although I am kind of thinking of changing my tea because, it's just not tasting the same at the moment. And I read that apparently they're not using the full leaf; it's like shavings or something, and it's just not doesn't have the same consistency. So I might be changing my tea brand. Heaven forfend! After all these years, Barry's has come all over the world with me.
What's the options in Ireland for you then? If you're going to go away from Barry's, I mean,
Well, there is Lions's. There's also actually, do you know what? Don't laugh. They Lidl. Do you have Lidl in the US?
We've got Lidl here in the States.
They do a tea called Fallon's, and it's similar to Barry's. So I might be going to that camp.
Next time, get some of that, and we'll do a little. You'll have to tell us what it is.
Test exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, fantastic.
So
well done.
Yes, I feel like a traitor. But there we go. But actually,
so publicly as well.
I know. Well, there you go. You see, it really isn't a paid for advertisement. There you go.
Exactly.
It's all about the test. And I mean, I love Barry's. Richard will tell you this. When I came to New York, when I first met him, like I had a whole Ziploc bag full of tea bags.
I do the same. I travel with my Tetleys. I mean, there's Tetleys that I used to buy on, and I'm not even going to mention their name, but an online famous store that you could almost buy anything and have it delivered the next day. We don't use that anymore. But I could get like British tea bags. But I found Tetley tea bags packaged in like American boxes here at the supermarket, and they're really good. It feels like proper Tetleys to me, so I'm very happy.
You can actually get bags of Tetleys because I survived on them in Gran Canaria.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, they're everywhere. You can get them here as well. Do you remember Punjana?
Not a brand.
PG Tips. You must remember PG Tips?
Oh yeah, I remember
growing up in England with the monkeys, the chimpanzees on the TV. Do you remember that? Yeah.
I am older. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm as old as you, I think, or older. I can't remember.
A little bit older than me.
Oh yes, I do remember.
Not too much, but you are a little bit older than me. Yes, I think you're half a decade older than me. So yes.
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah, you couldn't do that now. They don't let those things happen anymore.
No, because they were cute though. Anyways, okay, so we're going to get on. So we have an interesting. I'm going to read it out. I'm just waking up my phone. Give me a second. I have so many email addresses. Oh yeah, so we got lovely feedback from Jeff Morales Sims and Deborah Lynn Belful after our last reading.
Oh, great.
So they were saying, it was really accurate and it was nice and they liked it. So that was great. So we are going to read out a letter by a lady called Tina. So Tina lives here in Dublin. And she's saying, I'm loving your podcast. Hi, Graham and Richard. I'm loving your podcast. My name is Tina. I've been through a lot in the last 10 years or so. I've been married and divorced. I've lost both parents, recently sold my house, and I'm currently living with my sister and her family until I buy a new forever home. I'm a positive, strong, and grateful person. Every time I get pushed down, I get back up and change my life around. But it gets exhausting. I'm looking for a quiet life. I'd love to know what the cards see for my future, Will I meet Mr. Right one day? I'm sure he is out there somewhere. Loving the positivity of this show. Lots of love, Tina. So that's we're going to check in for Tina and see what they have to say. So
great.
So I'm going to use the Morgan Greer for this. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, I'll hand over to
yes,
you.
and I gotta just change over now. Where do I do that button again? I tell you, if I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. Where is my camera? Oh God, I did this earlier. Oh, settings. There we go.
Take your time, darling.
It's all right.
Take your time.
Ta-da. Can you see that, Richard? Yeah.
Yes, I can. So I'll guide you if I think I can't see anything, but that looks great.
Mm-hmm. So, Richard, I'm going to ask you to act as if you're Tina.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. So you are going to tell me when to stop.
Okay. I love a good shuffle. I'm one of them, like, shuffle, get it really messed up, because I that's kind of my feeling. So I'm never an early
shuffler.
But I say give it another good one shuffle, and then we're good. There we go. Fantastic.
Okay. Now we're gonna divide it into 3 piles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, would you like left, middle, or right?
I'm feeling the middle.
You're feeling the middle. Okay.
Middle, as you see it. Okay. Yeah.
As I see it. Okay. Oh God! Interestingly enough, they're all reversed, and I just need to change that camera 1 second.
No, we got them. You were fine. You were fine as
there
you
we
were.
Go. Yes.
Well, they're reversed. They're
upright. Yeah. So
now. Just so you know, they're upright for us. But that's okay.
Okay. Hang on. There we go.
There you go. That's
better.
You had it at the start. Okay. There we go.
Okay. So we're looking at just what Tina needs to know about the energies. Okay. So she has the 4 of Pentacles reversed. She has the 9 of Wands reversed, and she has the 6 of Cups reversed. So this is kind of covering her 3 questions. Now I'm going to pull more in detail in a minute. So the 4 of Pentacles reversed is about she's to come out of the misery phase, because this is about being stuck. Okay. So she wants to move forward. So if we put it up that way, it's like it's all blocked and he's holding on to everything. So it's asking her to release all the energy. So basically, yes, things are going to start moving forwards for her. I see her moving to a new home fairly soon, within the next year, because it's the winter months I'm seeing, okay, because it's Pentacles. So I'd say by the end of this year, she'll be in a better position, okay? Now, the 9 of Wands reversed is a hard-won victory, okay? So what I'm feeling, if we're seeing this in what she needs to grow, so this is about, like, she needs to start coming out of her shell and taking back her power, because she's been giving it away to too many people. Okay, does that make sense? Because if you turn it around, like, yes, there's all the new abundance, there's the growth and stuff, right? But the fact that it's coming in reversed, the yellow is down, it's about taking back her confidence, because that, of course, is her solar plexus her solar plexus chakra. So it's all her energy. Okay, if you look at the predominant colors here of the lower chakras, you can see them yellow, red, and orange. Okay, so the red is about taking back her creative power, her energy, and getting herself back. So she's had a lot of loss to deal with, and it's knocked her confidence, as we can clearly see. But what it is saying is what she needs to do is she needs to start taking back herself and doing things that put herself first. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. And then as for meeting Mr. Right, she will meet Mr. Right over here, what she needs to let go, but she needs to stop I'm going to say this, Tina, so you can tell me to whatever, mind me on business, because this is a card of nostalgia. So you're still comparing every man in your life to the ex-husband. Okay, so what you need to know is you stop looking for danger, because if you look for danger, you're going to find it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to pull an extra card in that one, and look at that, the Wheel of Fortune has come out. So yes, once you start to do that, you take your power back, you reclaim yourself, you then begin to find a way to move forward. So the Wheel of Fortune is then telling us that things will take a turn and you will meet Mr. Right, but you need to stop actively seeking out danger, because what you're doing is, you know, the way we focus on something, it manifests, right? So you're actively looking for every man to act like that, however that was, you know. So you need to stop focusing on negative things, because that's what you're drawing for, and start to think for the positive. But it all begins with you in this one, because once you start to love yourself, look at that, the card of marriage, the Four of Wands. So you'll get that stability, you'll get success, again, growth, abundance. So this is all for you. This is about you reclaiming. So yes, Tina, you are moving forward. Everything's going to be fine. There is a new relationship for you. You're going to get your house, you know, but this is about you getting back your confidence, because it's about you falling in love with yourself. Okay. So, and look at that. And your nightmares are behind you. So you're cutting yourself loose of your own chains, and you have the power inside yourself to do this. So that's what it's saying. Does that make sense, Richard? Yeah, go on.
Well, it does. Can I ask a pretend question on behalf of Tina?
Please.
And forgive me, Tina, because I always wonder, you know, I read cards very occasionally, not like you, Graham, but I always when you tell people about that there's a, you know, there's going to be some lovely stuff like that you want, I always feel as if people say, but what do I do next? What I love that, and I believe that I want to let go of this, that, and the other, but it's that first step. What advice would you give in that moment of like, what's the thing to get her onto that trajectory? Because you can't do it all at once. So
no, you can't. No,
at least first, or try and do first, maybe to get onto this journey.
Well,
can you have an idea?
Well, exactly. Well, yeah. So what I would say to you is this. I mean, think about it. It's confidence. Where do we get our confidence? Right. This is like, if you look at this, we have you know, our root chakra, which is our stability. We've got our solar plexus chakra, and we've got our sacral chakra. So this is about reclaiming your own sense of identity. So my suspicion is that you've given away your power to too many people, because I was getting that over here with the nostalgia card. So basically, I don't know, do something that empowers you, like maybe go to the gym, lose weight, those kind of things, because it's something that makes you start to feel good, something that pushes you beyond your comfort zone, because at the end of the day, we'd all love to slap around on the couch and watch TV and eat shit, wouldn't we? So basically, you need to get out of that, and you need to start taking a bit more active control of your life. So whatever that looks like to you, whether it's join a class, join a gym, do something that makes you happy, because it's about you discovering who you are and what makes it. Because again, look at these, it's the lower chakras, so it's the material world. So it's about something that's going to push you out of your comfort zone, because after all, I mean, I had a woman come to me there recently for a reading, and I'm kind of looking at her, love, it's not the 1980s. The milk tray man's not going to come in through the friggin' window. Do you know what I mean? Like, download an app, go out dating, do something that pushes you. So that's what you need to do. Now, I would say, because I am feeling that this lower chakra energy, it's about you're not quite in that place, because I don't think you feel quite attractive enough. So you need something to make you happy, because once we're happy, our vibe attracts our tribe. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. So I would say it's something that puts you in a good space, something for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, beyond the cards, I don't know whether you get asked the same, but, you know, people say, you know, how do you find a partner? What do you do? And I think some of the apps are great. You've got to be careful. And I always say the apps are like a pub. You know, you could go into a pub and meet arseholes. You know, don't blame the app; it's the people. But I do think though, if you can get away from the apps, don't go hunting. Don't go hunting for a partner. Go and do something that makes you happy. Like you said, go and do a class. Go and do something that's going to make you happy, regardless of whether you meet people. But who knows? You're meeting new people, and you never know who they know. Or you might meet a great friend, and she's got a handsome brother that's single. You know, I always think, don't think of the end point. Just step off onto a journey.
Exactly. Don't rush the end. Just take the first step, because the old saying is, you know, if you take one step towards the gods, they'll take 10 steps towards you. Like, I can reveal this because it doesn't really matter, because I'm gonna turn this off for a second so you can see me. We'll come back to it. So what I'm going to say to you is, I had my mum's hairdresser. Now, she listens to our show, so she loves it. And I'm not giving away her name or anything like that, Amy. So
she's on the high street, number 85. No, I'm making it up. I don't know.
Right. So I gave her a reading a while ago, and I was running down to the gym, a few weeks ago. She comes and she does mum's hair in the house, and she was she came into the house and she was glowing. Now I couldn't stop to talk to her, and I said I just knew something had shifted, right? So anyway, she was doing mum's hair, and now so we've spoken about this. I'm not breaking a confidence, like this was repeated, because she told mum she could tell me, and when I had the reading with her, this came up at this exact situation about like how, and I said to her, well, okay, so we put out the cards and we're like, well, what's the next step? And like, so if you were a client, that's what I'd be doing. I'm putting out the cards and going, well, this is what it is. So again, I was getting that energy. She needs to do something for herself. So I said to Amy, we talked her through, we did the steps, we put everything into place. She went and she did it, and now she's in a new relationship. Exact time frame and everything I said to her. So, and things are beginning to take out, but it's taking that first step.
It's something. It's moving towards it in some way, and I also think you've got to kind of pretend that you're not looking, because I think if you think, right, okay, park that for a bit. Let me just go and learn how to dance, or learn how to paint, or go and be a volunteer. Go and do something that's really useful and volunteer. And I always think the interesting thing is you'll then meet people that have got the same vibrations as you, the same interest.
That's exactly it. Your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah. You and anyway.
But I mean, we were having this conversation earlier. It's like once you have that blind bit of faith and you put your foot on the path, again, it'll come towards you, and it's about surrendering. Yeah,
it really it's so powerful and so almost scarily easy if you can do it. It's hard to do, but if you can switch your mindset, it's and be open. I think that's the other thing. You have to have your eyes open. Like, 'cause I think the universe will put things in front of you, but you might miss them.
You have to look for the signs. Exactly.
You've got to be open for them, at the right time, and don't bat things away either. I think we can be in danger of that. Go, oh, that's not for me, or that won't work, and it's like, just do something. I know it's hard. I know it's really hard for people who, I mean, when I came to America, I wasn't husband hunting at all. I mean, I genuinely was like, oh, that's the last thing on my mind. I'm not looking for a partner. I was in my early 40s and just wasn't looking, and went to go and do something quite volunteer based. Lo and behold, I met the man who's now my husband.
Exactly.
Quite unexpectedly, I know it sounds like a fairy tale, but I tell you, the universe is powerful. You've just got to trust it. And anyway, you can go on and on.
Exactly.
About
that, but that's exactly it. Getting back to manifestation, it's about once you make a decision, the universe will support you. Totally. But you have to have the courage to do it. Hence, give up the anxiety, because after all, anxiety is a thief.
Yeah. And I think there's a powerful thing. The flip side of manifestation is that if you keep leaning into the misery and going, oh, I'll never get that job, or I'll never live in that house, or I'll never,
that towards you.
It's that the universe listens to the word, not the bit that you put in the front. Like, it doesn't listen to the never. It just listens, or it listens to the never, not just the,
it listens to the wish, because it's a prayer. So you're sending it out in negative. I will never, and the universe goes, okay, grand.
All right,
because you've manifested that.
Anyway,
I'm going to be Psychic Oprah with my own TV show.
Well, there you go.
I'm feeling it out into the universe. There you go.
We're on that journey. I mean, look at this. I mean,
exactly. I mean, here we are. Yeah, exactly. But that's it. It's about taking that first step and just having that chance. And it's not about you have to like spend a load of money or whatever. It could just be simple, something simple as joining a walking club or whatever is going to make you happy. But our life, like the universe wants us to be happy, right? So that makes sense to everybody, okay? So what is it that will make you happy in that moment, and try it? And if it's something that you want, like if your soul has a longing, because getting back to like, I'm into all this spiritual, mystical stuff. And I was trying to explain, like, it's like the universe, one of my spiritual beliefs is that we accumulate experiences in this lifetime, and that we go back to the source ultimately with all of this knowledge, and we give it back to the source, and it goes into the collective, right? So a bit like Jungian psychotherapy, psychology, and the idea. So what I like to say is, like, desire comes from Dies Irae, of the divine, right? So if you think about that for a second, right? you have an inherent desire for something. You might be kind of like, oh, I could never do that. Well, okay, the universe will go, whatever. But if it keeps coming back, the universe is trying to tell you something. If you're being drawn to something, go for it. Because it might just change your life, because maybe that's what you're supposed to be. Like, look at me. You know, I was a diva. Some would still say I am, and here I am with a totally different life, because this is what I should have been doing. And this is what's bringing me the most happiness. Yeah, I had to experience that. You
had to let something go as well. You had to kind of put something in the back, either step away from it to allow the room for this new growth as well. That's another thing. You've got to make room for the new,
new experience. Exactly.
I love, there's a piece of advice. I don't know whether it's real. I mean, it's apocryphal. I can't remember who told me. Said, but this is an old fashioned one almost. But if you want a man in your life, clear a drawer out in your bedroom.
I think I told you that one.
You make room for that, or a woman in your life, or whatever. But make room for them to leave their, a couple of their belongings, for overnight stay. And I think it's the intention that I'm making that room. I'm making that change in. Again, it's like magic, isn't it? You're doing a spell almost by clearing that drawer out, and it's giving you.
Well, there's space for $10 million in my bank account. Just insane.
My bank account's been empty for so long. I don't know when that's going to get filled up, but there we go.
It will.
Yeah, I know. I'm teasing, but there we go. I shouldn't say that, putting that out to the world. But
you cancel.
Exactly. But no, I think people do get weighed down with the woes of it, and what's the first thing, So I think doing it, you're right. Actually, even going for a walk, going to the library, that's really free. You never know. You never know who you meet on the way, even if it's not in the library. It could be the walk on the way to the library that you bump into somebody lovely that that invites you out or whatever. Crazy, isn't it?
When I met Declan, it was like that. I was kind of feeling a bit fed up with everything, the dating scene and blah, 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 blah. And I went to, it was actually the first ever gay bear coffee night here in Dublin. And I was kind of tired of going to bars and stuff like that. And I went with a friend of mine, and we went in, and there was all these guys there, and it was for people who wanted to try something away from the bars and the clubs and stuff like that.
Right.
We all ended up in the bar anyway, but as you do. And anyway, and literally, that's where I met him. And now he's since passed away a long time ago, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who didn't know. But that's where I actually met him, and it was literally just that hunch. And I said, I'll get. And I saw it in the back of a magazine. It was in our publication, it's called GCN, and I saw it in the back of that. And I said, I rang Liam. I said, let's go and do that, and we did. And there you go.
That's the sign, isn't it? That's the sign that was presented in front of your face through that magazine. And you've got to pick up on it. You've got to do the work. But the work that you had to do was go to it, and that, I think that's the trick. It's recognizing the sign and knowing I've got to do a little bit of the effort as well.
The secret language of the universe. But like, if you think about it, like when we discussed manifestation before, what is it? I said to you, you can have whatever you want. The second step is, what are you willing to give up? Who are you willing to become? What are you willing to do? What effort are you willing to make to get it? So classes, whatever, going to walk, gym, blah, 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 blah. And then how's it going to benefit two people outside of yourself? So, and that's it. So if you're in a relationship with somebody, you're going to be their loving partner, and you can provide support for them and blah, 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 and etc. So that's the way you can look at it. So, and I also tell people when they come to me, when they want relationships, when I say, okay, draw a list up of everything that you want in a partner. Like everything, right? Now, how do you match this? Because it's not opposites attract, it's actually similarities. Opposites keep it interesting. So I want you to draw up a list, literally list out all the characteristics of the person. Because remember, the brain understands patterns and it understands concepts, right? So the subconscious mind will pick up on that. So if you can show your subconscious mind how you represent something in your own life, it will draw that to you. So if you say, well, I want someone who's kind, well, what does kindness look like to you? Give me an example. And literally go along this list, all the different things you want, and then put examples beside it. and then go over it and over and over, because you're training your brain to look for that, because it'll start to filter out the noise.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how everything will change around you when you do that.
It is.
God, this is a really good conversation today.
I know. We're getting very deep here, but it's interesting too that even away from the cards as a tool that we've kind of put away for a moment, but still spirituality is in our lives. The signs, seeing things, it's still spiritual. I mean, whether you call it the great universe or you have a religion of that you're faithful to, to me, and I think to you, it's the same thing, just in a different name. But it's the connectivity. I think and the intention. If you're like, I think prayers can work when it's real and intentional and full of kindness or full of doing the work. I think there's great spiritual religious leaders have said it's all very well praying. Go and do something. Go and help somebody. That's more spiritual.
That's more prayerful. Exactly.
Yeah. Go and work in a soup kitchen and help feed people. I think that's much more spiritual and honorable than just sitting in a church praying sometimes. Not to take anything away from what people do, but I think doing good deeds is
because you're sending that kindness out into the world. It's like the kindness effect. It's like, literally, if I'm kind to you, you'll go off and be kind to someone. It's like, even say, like, I always try to say something positive to everybody I meet. Right. So they always have something to go home with, that somebody's been positive to them. So when the kids come in the door, I'll always give them a nice compliment, or a client or whatever. And like I remember somebody said to me in work, said, "Do you know what I love about you? Every morning I meet you, you say something nice," because that cheers them up. That might be the only compliment they get that day, but then they can pass it on. And that's, the ripple effect, that we will have, So I think it's very important, even if it's just something like, "Oh, that's a lovely coat," or blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Because people need it. And we all do, including myself, and like, because we're all, at the end of the day, trying to do our best. It doesn't matter how spiritual or whatever we are. At the end of the day, we're still all perfectly imperfect human beings. And, but it's once you take that pressure off yourself that you don't need to be perfect, but you need to get something that aligns with you. So, he doesn't need to be this, that, and the other. She doesn't need to be this, that, and the other, but they need to be compatible with you. So what is it you truly want? How do you represent this in your own life? How are you showing up?
Yeah, for definite. Wonderful. Wonderful, my love.
And you'll get it. So we're going to do our clean on now.
Yes.
So
this one I can tune into a bit more.
Exactly. So the energy, as we all know, in the world at the moment is just a tad crazy, because we have both Mercury and Venus retrograde. So I got to change this is really funny. When we don't do this for a while, I can never remember how to turn on the camera. There's so many systems.
There you go. And that's perfect. Change nothing. That's perfect.
Change nothing. Yeah.
We see it as you see it there, Graham.
Yeah. I tell you what, lads, I'd be one of those people that would put Tipp-Ex on the screen. But anyway.
You know what the funny thing about that is, like, some people out there go, "What is Tipp-Ex? What's that?"
Oh my God, I forgot. Yeah, nobody uses Tipp-Ex. Nobody writes anything anymore.
For American listeners, it's whiteout. That's what it was called here in America. But it's the same thing. It's a bottle of white liquid you would put on a piece of paper to type over to correct your mistakes.
Do you still get that?
What? Can you still buy it?
Can you still get it? Yeah.
I don't know. I've never looked for it in all these years.
Because most people do everything on computers, so you wouldn't really need to. Yeah.
But it's funny, like, typewriters are coming back, vinyl is coming back. Like, people like the old stuff and like leaning into that. I think that's great to a certain degree if you can do it. I'll have to look for it just to see if it exists. I'll report back.
Dude. Well, so today, as I said, the energies in the universe are very crazy at the moment, because we've Venus and Mercury retrograde, and we're coming up to the alignment of the planets. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do something slightly different today, because it is St. Patrick's Day. So we are going to do a no grow and let go, right, for the month ahead, right? But we're going to mix it up a bit. So I have these beautiful cards by a lady called Amy Louise O'Callaghan. I bought them a while ago. I think maybe the year before last. I've never used them, but they're very beautiful because they're like pieces of art. They're Irish mythology cards. Okay, and so they're only the major arcana. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull our 3 cards for No Grow Let Go with the original tarot face down, and then I'm going to put 3 of these on top. And then we'll get the combined of the 2 for the position, okay, to give us the extra detail. And I do this thing, which I'm going to do for us one day. It's called the Grand Wheel.
Ooh.
And basically, I do it with every single card of the tarot deck.
Oh, gosh.
Right? That's really cool. And then another one I do is I might put 4 or 5 decks on top of each other.
Wow.
So we might do them as kind of specials, you know.
A holiday special. Are you quickly, just for those that might not know, I know, and obviously you know, but what is the major and the minor arcana?
Oh, so the best way for me to describe this is, okay, so we all know there's 78 cards in the tarot, okay? So the major arcana is 22 cards, and they're the big life lessons. Like they would have things like death, the fool, anything that has a title. Okay, and they're always to do with major life lessons that are happening around you, big cosmic events, things like that. Where the minor arcana is the 4 suits. Okay, so they are like they anything from your ace up to your king. Okay, so like your standard playing. So you know they're your day-to-day stuff is the way I would describe them. So you have the 4 suits.
So it's kind of like you get the if you're familiar with playing cards, that's the ace to the 12, and then you get the king, queen, and jack and everything.
Jack, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. You have knights. You have the knight included in the minor arcana. Yes.
Yeah. So anything. So you've got your court cards and your pip cards. Your pip cards is ace to 10.
Yeah.
And then you've got your court cards, which is the page, the page, the knight, the queen, and the king. Now, sometimes the page is called the princess. Okay, depending on the deck. More modern things, but not traditionally. But in recent years, they like some of them come out with princesses, or depending if it's a themed deck. But that's usually what it is, and it's usually a young person or a messenger. And then kings, queens, and knights.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yes. So what we are going to do, we've been shuffling. So Richard, tell me when.
I think you've done enough. That's quite sufficient shuffling for me, I have to say. Well done.
Shuffling. Okay. So left, middle, right.
I think the left. The left this time. Your left.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that is my left.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to just put these face down. Okay, for the minute. Okay. So this is No Grow Let Go. Okay, and now I'm going to take these ones, the Irish mythology ones. Okay.
Lovely.
So now I'm going to keep the little booklet here, and the reason I'm keeping that is here because I'm not entirely sure which legend attaches to which card. Now they all say the name of the card, so I understand what they are, but I want to read out the legend if that's okay.
Lovely. Yeah.
So people would know because that's kind of nice. Okay. So again, as I said, there are only 22 of these. So what I'm going to do is, Richard, I'm shuffling. And when you're ready, I want you to say stop and then top, middle, or bottom. Okay, so we're going to have 3.
Sure thing. Stop.
Okay.
Yep.
Top, middle, bottom?
Middle.
Middle. Okay.
Lovely.
Yeah, same. Oh, randomly 2 cards came out there, so we might need to. We're obviously going to have 2 cards. Okay. Ooh. Same thing again.
Stop for me, my lovely. Bottom.
Bottom. And then same thing.
Yeah. Give a little tiny bit of a shuffly shuffle, and I think you can stop. And let's go for the bottom again.
This boy is a bottom. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to flip them all over. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, I like this. This is very interesting. We're getting a lot of reverse cards today. Okay. So That's nice. Okay. I love this. So in our no position, we have the 2 of Pentacles and we have the Chariot. In our grow position, we have the 4 of Swords and Temperance reversed. And then in our let go, interestingly enough, we have the 7 of Wands and we have the High Priestess reversed. That's a very, very interesting combination.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, before I even get into this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tell you what legends these associate with, okay?
Lovely.
So, yeah. Okay, so the Chariot is... The Chariot is Ainvar. Okay, so Ainvar is the magical steed of the god Manan Machlir, who was the god of the sea. The horse could traverse both land and sea and was faster than the wind itself. Ainvar is lent to Manon's foster son Lu, who is the god's son, or was the son of the god, or the god of the sun, should say, in battle. Okay, so we know the Chariot is associated with journeys, drive, and overcoming obstacles. So this card depicts Ainvar at sea, like his master. He's a powerful creature. Okay, and then Temperance. Let's have a look at Temperance. That's kind of interesting. So Temperance is Niamh Cinn Ur. So Niamh Cinn Ur, meaning golden hair, is the daughter of Manan Machlir. Interesting enough, the sea god, and best known as the lover of and wife of Oisín. So Niamh appeared one day from beyond the sea to Oisín, thought to be the modern Rossbeigh Strand in County Kerry, where she took him to Tir na nÓg. So Oisín was carried over to Tir na nÓg, the land of the eternal young. Okay, he died eventually. He fell off the horse. There's a whole long story, but he fell off the horse and he touched the land and he died. But anyway, so he lived there for 300 years, having 2 sons and a daughter. And in some versions of Niamh's story, they say that she was cursed by her father to have a pig's head. Her curse is eventually lifted when she marries Oisín, who in turn becomes ruler of Tir na nÓg. The Temperance card represents balance, harmony, and moderation, and the card depicts Niamh beckoning Oisín to join her in the land of eternal youth. Right, and he did, but he went back because he missed everybody. And he came back, nobody knew it was live. And she told him not to get off the horse, but he went to help some old lady move a rock, and he fell over and he fell onto the land and he died instantly. So there you go.
Crazy.
As the old Irish stories go. And then the High Priestess, which is very powerful, is of course Saint Bridget, or Bridget, the goddess Bridget. So Bridget is a member of the Tuatha Dé Danann. So that's the gods, the race of gods. And she's the daughter of the Dagda, who's the king of the gods. She's associated with wisdom, healing, protection, and domesticated animals. Bridget is often viewed as a sage and a goddess of the hearth, so the home and the hearth. She shares many attributes of Saint Bridget, who is thought to be a Christianization of the goddess. So Bridget's feast day is the 1st of February, known as Imbolc, and marks the beginning of spring. She is the wife of Bres, with whom she had a son called Ruadan. The High Priestess card represents intuition, spiritual insight, and hidden talents. So when we look at this then in combination, what we've got, okay, so in our no, we have the 2 of Pentacles and we have the Chariot, okay? So what I feel about this is about remembering to be balanced, okay? So not to be panicking if you're feeling a bit blocked, because you are moving forwards. And sometimes it's about remember, because can you see over here, you've got the little boat in the background? Okay, you've got the feathers up here in the cap, and you've got the 3 birds here. You probably can't really see them, but if I lift up the card, you can probably see them a bit more. Can you see them?
Yeah.
There's 3 birds here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Lovely. And we have that brooch again here, and we've got the balancing act. So this is about, it's about remembering to don't charge ahead, right? Everything is moving as it's supposed to be. This is what you need to know. Everything is going ahead. And again, look, we have the water. Can you see that? Isn't that interesting? Both cards are associated with water here. So it's about don't let your emotions overpower you. This is what I'm feeling for the next while, that things are working out, and it's just about staying balanced between both, because it's a juggling act, okay? We want to push forward and push forward and push forward, but it's urging you to think, yes, you are going to be able to move forward. You are going to be able to get what you want, but this is about just making the right choices and having a bit of a think while you're on the journey, because you're still there and you still have some stuff to do. Does that make sense? Yeah. And remember, we have blue, so it's all about, listening to the voice and wisdom, and it's echoed over here. It's very interesting. So if we go then to what we need to grow, Temperance and the Four of Swords, which are reversed. Okay, so this is about taking action. Okay, temperance is sometimes about caution and balance. The Four of Swords is about taking a breath, right? Because to not be overwhelmed by your thoughts. Because what I feel this is about, have patience and courage. That's what I feel, that you are on the path. This is very much what this reading is telling me. Because while the world is a bit crazy around us, okay, we're out of balance, and sometimes our fears are holding us back. We're too cautious. Does that make sense? So we need to grow a sense of courage. So we need to give that away. So we need to just be assured and confident and listen to what we're being told. Because remember, swords are the element of the air, which is the mind. Okay, so listen to that inner voice. That's what I feel this is telling me. It's about, we need to just kind of not get bogged down by all that's going on around us and focus on what's coming towards us and make sure that we keep the eye on the prize, basically. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then over here, and what we need to let go of. Now, this is quite interesting because we have the Seven of Wands and we have the High Priestess reversed. Now, the Seven of Wands is an interesting one because it's about standing your ground. Now, remember, Wands is passion, it's fire, it's the creative energy. But if you look at this, again, we have the lower chakras are all represented because we have orange, we have yellow, and we have red. Can you see that? But we also have slight purples for intuition. Okay. And of course, we have the High Priestess down here, who is the card of intuition and emotion. Okay. But again, Bridget is also the goddess of fire. She's also inspiration and creativity. She was the goddess of metallurgy as well. Right. So creation. So what this is telling, what we need to let go of, to me, is about, it's about, we need to kind of be, well, we're being told over here, okay, to stop, to stop worrying about what's going around us. Over here, it's telling us like to stop trying and control things. What we need to do is stop putting battles where there aren't any.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it's about because we're creating our own problems because we're giving into fear. Does that mean we're not listening to our intuition? That's why she's upside down, because it's telling us that we're not listening. So we need to let go of that. So we need to actually channel that intuition and channel that fiery spark, because it's about letting go of trying to control things. It's like we're trying to control situations and move everything into a way that keeps us comfortable. Getting back to anxiety, what did I say anxiety was? Fear of something we can't control.
Yeah.
So what it's asking us to do is to just trust, to give up, to listen to our intuition so that we can manifest and move forward and not kind of get overwhelmed by things. And yes, but there will be challenges ahead, but if we kind of listen to our intuition, we'll be guided safely through them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
Have you any questions for me? Will I pick another card on top of this one? I think this is quite interesting, this bit. I'm feeling drawn to choose another one.
Yeah, you follow what you're feeling, my love.
And the Hierophant, that's very, very interesting. That's Scathach. Scathach was a warrior queen. Okay. So the Hierophant is about tradition. It's about falling into placements. Like, we know it's spirituality, it's all that kind of stuff, but it's also about like going by the letter of the law. It's about traditions. It's about working with people. It's about, authority. Okay. So what this is asking us to do is have courage of our own convictions, because people will listen to us. So basically, you're being asked to stop being defensive and stand in your own power and have the courage of your convictions. Does that make sense?
Amazing. Yeah.
Is that resonating with you?
Yeah, little bits of it are for definite. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's about it's about when the Hierophant, it's also balance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, because in the traditional card you'd see the two monks in front. One would have the white lily and one would have the red rose. So it's that energy, and it's about the Hierophant has a blue cloth around his throat because he speaks with authority. So people are willing to listen to your ideas. So follow your dreams, keep your eye on the prize, and don't give in to fear. That's basically what the message is, especially at the moment, because there's so much crazy stuff going on in the world. It's about tuning into your inner locus of evaluation.
Yeah. Wonderful.
And trusting your gut a bit more. Does that make sense? And look what happens. I pulled another one just as I just picked it up and I went, oh, that's okay. They came out, the World. So we know what the world represents, don't we? success, happiness, and everything is going to be okay for you, you know?
Yeah.
So, yes. So
Wonderful.
that's what we're being asked to do. Okay.
Lovely.
All right. That was nice. So I know things are scary, guys, but they will change. I promise you all.
Very good. No, that's great, Graham. I mean, these Cledons are lovely, and I love that. I know we've said it before, but I think it bears repeating. You know, this is for everybody. These readings at the end, the Cledons are for everybody to take something away from, and it might mean different things to different people who are in different moments. But if you can take something from it, then it was for you. That's the clearness of the Cledon. I love it.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly it. I think you take what it is, what works for you, and you leave what doesn't. Some of it will resonate, and some of it mightn't. And you might think about it for the rest of the day, but interesting, she's following us around, the High Priestess. I love that. So, yes, so we're going to go to two episodes a month. So please email us at info@bearsandtarot.com. I do need the questions so I can help you. You can ask whatever you want. We'll do our best to help you. Okay. So please send us in your questions. And remember, guys, love one another. Okay, that's the only way we're going to get through this crazy.
This is true. Support one another, support your local businesses, support your local community. Please volunteer where you can, because it's very needed at this moment across the world.
And take a chance on something. Take a chance on something. That's even what the message of the cards were. Take that chance. Don't give in to fear. Follow your gut while it's guiding you forward. You know?
Yeah, for definite.
Don't let other people's negative stuff drag you down.
Never. Must never. No, I mean, I just read a lovely thing or heard a lovely thing that was a classmate of Cynthia Erivo. Who said that she, as the classmate, took on all the negativity from the criticism of the teachers, which, you know, is usual when you're learning something. But apparently Cynthia Erivo just like batted all the negativity away in it, and she just grew. And it's an interesting look at where she is, you know. And if no one knows who Cynthia Erivo is, she's playing the Wicked Witch in the movie of Wicked right now. So very and she's beautiful, British, wonderful singer actress. And so, yeah, quite an amazing, you know, quite an achievement for anyone. But it just that when you hear the stories about how she just decided to be what she wanted to be, and great example of pushing away. She pushed away teachers' negativity, even in that world. I mean, she went to a prestigious drama school in London. You know,
and literally what we've just been talking about all episodes.
Completely. And she's green, so it's you know, she wears a lot of green right now, so she's great for St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, exactly. So it's all tying in. Exactly. But yes.
Yeah.
So please, guys, remember, stay strong. Anxiety is a thief. You're not going to let it steal your life. We're here to help you. Send us in your questions. Please. And we'll see you in April. Thank you very, very much.
We'll let you know on the socials and on the website what our dates are going to be. We don't know what they are yet. We're going to work that out soon. So but watch this space.
And if I can just, before we finish, if I can direct anybody, I'm going to be doing Instagram lives. I did one last week, but I'm going to be doing a few more of them with different mediums have asked me to do, but I'm doing another one. So if you go to CelticTarotTherapy.com, you'll see the recent one I did last Friday with Martha, and there'll be some interesting stuff there, but I am going to do another one. So if you want to tune in, and you might get to speak to a relative through me. That would be
wonderful. Great, Graham. We'll see you all very soon. We're going to play a little outro music, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks by the looks of it.
Yes. Bye.
Is it playing?